here because I didn't quit. I tried quitting, but I couldn't quit trying. But I stopped using the word try unless I'm using it as an example. There is no try, it's do or die. And by choosing to cross that bridge, I do it. I live, I thrive, I win. And win is what's important now. And now spelled backwards is one past tense of winning. We win before we begin.
What's going on, fight fans? What's happening? Knuckleheads, fiends of the fight. We're back here, Throwing Hands Podcast, baby. Joining us today. You know, it's always a pleasure to have your favorite fighter join me. The Knucklemaniac, baby. CODY VIDAL, 4-1. He's got a fight coming up 7 days at the Mohegan Sun. BKFC Fight Night, Mohegan Sun. Lately, their fight nights have been stacked. Some of them just outrageous. Let's go, baby.
There you are.
Your favorite fighter is back in action. How are you,
That's
Knuckle?
right. It's too early for this Knucklemaniac shit, but I'm here.
Can't be doing that to the Knucklemaniac out here. Come on now.
That's
Can't be
right.
blacklisted. How are you, man?
Doing amazing. How are you?
I'm amazing as well. And 7 days away, brother. How's it been going? How's the preparation? How you feeling? How's the mental?
All is well, man. I'm victorious as usual. And yeah, I'm a little tired today, so you're not going to hear much out of the Knucklemaniac, but I'm wearing these shades for the character, but also to block out these annoying lights because I would much rather be sleeping right now with my tired eyes. With Knucklemaniac schedules, Knucklemaniac shows. Here we are, baby.
Well, appreciate you showing up. Sorry to bother you this early.
Not bothering
Time
me.
difference. With that being said, fighting at the Mohegan Sun, what kind of a time difference are we looking at there? Are you going to
3
be
hours.
showing up maybe a few days early to acclimate, or is that going to be not an issue for you?
It's never an issue. It's never an issue. It's just 3 hours ahead of us here. It's not an issue at all. It's the same time frame as Philadelphia when I fight in Philadelphia.
Yeah, true enough. So Joseph Greer, what do we know about him? I've heard you give it up to him in the past before, compliment his boxing. He's definitely very elusive at times. 3 losses. I think he's 6-3, but he's got a win over David Simpson as well. He's fought at higher weight classes, went the distance with Atchison. Looked pretty good in that fight until the later rounds when he eventually got caught. Have you done what's the preparation been like for Joseph? Have you changed anything to prepare for him?
No. And it's not a disrespect to him, but every opponent I fought has been a southpaw. The taller they are, the easier it is for me. I know he moves his head a lot. That's good though, because many of the opponents don't move their head. But I know with my fighting style and I know with my fighting IQ, when you move your head too much, it's when you are open. You know, there's ways of moving your head that where you're not open, and there's ways of moving your head where you do leave yourself open. So I've seen openings. I'm saying he'll do those same openings, whether he moves his head or not. I believe that my punch stats prove that I'm the highest volume puncher. My accuracy is amazing, scoring like 70-80% accuracy in all my fights. And I don't see anybody with better cardio than me. I don't see anybody with better output than me. I don't see anybody with greater pressure than me. So the pressure and the precision is there and the power is there too. So Joseph Greer, I believe, is my toughest opponent yet, but the Knucklemaniac fights to levels. So the higher the level, the stronger the devil. But the stronger the devil, the stronger the Knucklemaniac.
That's high praise saying that Joseph's your toughest test. Some people have criticized this matchup because he's unranked, but he has finishes in the last 3 fights. He's definitely a game competitor. I don't believe I think this is a tough matchup. But you looked really good. You've been improving with every fight. The last one looked really good against Jomi. How do you see this one going? Do you think this one's built for 5 rounds, or have you seen anything that makes you think maybe you can get Joseph out of there early?
Joseph Greer is ranked number 3 at the weight class above me. He's ranked number
Oh,
3.
is he? Okay.
Yeah. So I'm technically ranked number 3 at 185. I'm clearly number 1. And that's no disrespect to Josh Dyer or Warren. It's just that they have lost multiple times. So having them up there when none of them have beaten Juggernaut. Jared hasn't fought Juggernaut, but to have them above me right now with my win streak, if you want to be technical, 6-0, and my last 2 opponents were very good opponents, and this is a third opponent in a row, 6-3, and he's ranked number 3 at 205. I'm ranked number 3 at 185. So this should be the 195-pound championship, if you ask me, because that's a weight class that's open. And you're asking me, when I expect to win. I already won, so it doesn't matter to me if it's the 5th round, the 4th round, the 3rd round, the 2nd round, the 1st round. It does not matter. It never matters. I'm a professional fighter for the BKFC. I'm a professional bare knuckle fighter, and so if I clock in for 5 rounds, great. I'm doing what I love for 5 rounds. If I clock in for 1 round, great. I'm doing what I'd love for 1 round, but I love winning more than anything. And, you need to fight your best to win as easy and as quickly as possible. And with my experience, I become better and better and better with every fight. And I've been saying that for many fights. I've been saying that. I've been saying I fight better with every new level that I ascend to. And so, with that said, it's no surprise to me that I beat Jomi Escoboza the way I beat him, 10-2 fighter at the time, with only loss was against Jared Warren both times. Jared Warren's a high pressure attacker. I don't think Jared Warren fights like I do on the inside, but Jared Warren for the first 2 rounds is coming at you like a freight train. So back to Joseph Creers, I believe he's the best long distance boxer in all of the BKFC. He's undefeated in boxing, undefeated in Muay Thai, and I think he only has 2 losses in MMA. And his BKFC losses, he's never truly been finished. Warren finished him with uppercuts, but he got right up and the fight was stopped early, in my opinion. Seeing him take the power shots from Atchison and survive tells me he would have survived, maybe at least another round. So you just never know. And to underestimate any fighter would be absolutely stupid.
No doubt, Joseph's a game competitor. Definitely impressive in there. Leading up to this fight, normally it's always Muay Tyler Smith in your corner. Do you guys? But you've talked in the past, training with other guys, MMA training. Is there any fighter that you maybe go elsewhere, maybe bring someone into the camp with, or is it just Muay Tyler and you guys training?
Number 1, it's his birthday today, so happy birthday, Tyler Smith. Happy birthday to you, Ty Ty. Happy birthday to you, Ty Ty. Happy
Happy
birthday, dear
birthday,
boy
dear Muay Tyler
Tyler.
Smith.
Happy
Happy birthday
birthday
to you.
to you.
Yeah, I was
Anymore,
getting
because
to that.
boy
I seen
Tyler
that it was
is
birthday.
just 2.
Let's go. Let's go. How were you with him at all? Were you guys celebrating that birthday yet?
I was just with him last night, just training. He'll be
So yeah,
busy.
would you bring anyone else in to help you guys training along the way? I know you guys have a pretty good bond and you guys are covering most of the basics, but like, Joseph's a good boxer. Did you bring in somebody different for this camp, or is it pretty much the same as any other day here?
James Toney offered me to train with him, and it was on a Sunday. James Toney, the greatest defensive fighter in boxing history, and maybe I'll contact him today about this Sunday. But no, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Try to turn you up here a little bit.
If it's not broke, don't fix it.
That's right. Sorry, you're just a little quiet on my end. So what do you think, Cody? BKFC Fenway Park's coming up. They got the cruise early next year. How do you feel about the direction of the BKFC, like in terms of just the venues they're putting on? Are you interested in getting on the cruise at all? What do you think of the direction of the company?
The direction of the company's up. That's great. Cruises can't go up; they can only go down. So I don't like sharks. And I don't like being trapped on boats if somebody antagonizes me to kill them. So, I mean, the good part about that is if somebody would do that, then they would be shark food. So there's no reason for me to go on the cruise.
10-4. What about so the turnaround on this one, this is a nice turnaround for you, 3 months. I know you like this fast turnarounds. You don't like sitting too long. Did you even stop training?
Yeah, a little bit. I always have injuries, and people say never talk about your injuries, but you're not the knuckle maniac. They're not the knuckle maniac. If the knuckle maniac wants to talk about his injuries, he'll talk about his injuries. To sit there and pretend like you're not is stupid. I fought every one of my fights with injuries, and people have their injuries, minor or major. But yeah, like I'm very adamant. Like I don't like training all the fucking time. I don't like training every fucking day. I don't like feeling like I need to be desperate. I feel like a lot of people love it and they love it. I get it. Like I love to train. I really do love to train, but I'm also busy in other aspects of my life and I like to shut down and isolate and I like to fight with myself. It makes me that's the real training is how long can you sit by yourself and be bored? How long can you sit by yourself and think about the thoughts of all the tasks that you need to do? How long can you do that, you know, without fucking going to jail or dying, you know? Like that's where the real training is in the seclusion, you know? So for me, it doesn't matter if I train fucking every day. It doesn't matter if I train twice a week. I'm still who I am. And that is a mentality and that is a spirit before it's a mentality. And that's a mentality before it's a physicality. And that is my strength. My strength is that I know who I am and I am certain of who I am. And that as a fighter, I will 100% enjoy who I am. As a winner, I 100% enjoy who I am.
So I've seen a lot of posts online, you know, your hypnotism stuff, very powerful stuff, very helpful stuff. What about do you ever like get to a point in your life where maybe you need a little pep talk? Are you able to channel that on yourself? Or I know guys like me and you, we always got religion to turn to. How do you pull yourself out of a funk?
I don't believe in religion. I believe in truth. Religion is a term that was created when truth was divided. As for truth, you find truth in silence. You find truth in communicating with that voice inside of you that knows exactly what to do. That voice inside of you is an extension of our creator. And so, yeah, I always need help. And so I've learned more and more and more to help myself. And it's as simple as being quiet and having conversations with yourself, asking yourself questions, listen to yourself, listen to your own self, ask you questions. You know, it's conscious, subconscious dialogue, conscious, higher conscious dialogue with Yeshua, dialogue with the Holy Spirit, dialogue with Yahweh. I am who I am, our creator. And, you know, it is a fact that healing is never finite. Healing is never final. And the second you think that you're completely healed is the second you think you're perfect, and nobody's perfect. Perfection, the idea of perfection can fuel one's pride. So like, when I say training, physical training, like I don't like physical training all the time, it's because it starts to feel desperate. It gets boring. It gets like it, it's I like a well balance. I like a well balance of training physically, well balance of training mentally, and so I'm just a winner, brother. No matter where it is, where the fight happens, could be planned. It could be a fight that happens on the street. It could be a fight happens out in the real world. And I'm always ready for war because war is willing, able, and ready. Willing, able, and ready. Willing, able, and ready. Willing, desire, able, ability, ready means prepared.
So you think you're already in that fight mind state, 7 days away, you're ready to go? You seem pretty plugged in.
I'm ready to fight and win every single day. Of course, with training and of course with the healing modalities that I do, cold plunge, hot plunge. Of course, training, help, dieting, and everything. Of course, that helps me fight better and win easier. Of course, but with that said, yeah, I'm always if I could fight every single day and win every single day, I would. I don't wake up and say, I'm gonna go down to the beach today, which I live right by the beach. I don't wake up, I'm gonna go down to the beach today and enjoy a beach day. I'm gonna go talk to pretty women downtown. I'm gonna get on my dating apps and talk. I don't have dating apps. I don't have family that I can just go to and have a celebration. I have my son, right? And I have his extended family, and I'm very appreciative of that. But what I'm saying is like I'm desensitized to most of the world, which is why I'm a bare knuckle fighter. We're extreme people. Some people are doing this for the fame. Some people are doing this for a lot of different reasons. I do it because I need to. I can't turn off who I am. Quite frankly, as I look at the world, I wouldn't want to. I'm not interested in being normal. I'm not interested in being average. I'm not interested in anything but being the very best while at the same time satisfying the necessities of Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach, which is a very balanced task to do, meaning you need to have balance. because it's really easy to sell your soul intentionally or unintentionally. And what I mean by that is, if you're not careful, if you don't take every thought captive, if you don't meditate on his word, if you don't renew your mind, if you don't take control of your mind controls you.
Deep, bud. It's really deep stuff. So you said you like the balance. What else you got going on recently, buddy? What else is going on with Cody Vidal other than the fight? Talk to me. What's going on, buddy? How is your son doing?
He's in Idaho. He's doing amazing. The happiest, kindest, most loving person that I know. I wish I could be more like him, and I can be. He's so pure. His extended family and we have done a good job with my son as helping him develop into a young man. He'll be 10 in a couple months. Yeah, going away from my son is like what's new with me is I applied for the world's baddest man tournament, and I'm in the pre-approval process for that. I'm working to acquire sponsorships for once. I haven't had a single sponsorship in fucking 6 fights, and aside from the juggernaut, who's more entertaining and fights as good as me, at least in the weight class. Like, who is there? You know, 185-pound weight class is probably the best weight class because it fuses size and skill together and balances it. You have 25, 35, 45, 25, 35, 45. I don't know if you have 25 anymore, but if we do 25, 35, 45, 55, 65, 75, and you have 85, and you have 195, which is open, 5, 225 heavyweight. So yeah, like 185 and 175, those are the weights in the middle. And so you have a really good blend of size and skill. Back to the question is like, what's new with me? I'm just focused on my business and focused on fighting and winning and focused on developing my son and guiding him and loving him.
That's good. And it is a very interesting division, 185. You come out with a victory here. What do you think should happen? You've been calling for that Lorenzo fight for a while. He's been kind of jumping around different weight classes. And you got guys like Josh Dyer, Jared Warren, as you mentioned. What do you think should happen with this? Like, do you think Juggernaut should have to defend his title? Do you think there should be an interim title? He's kind of called out Sakara after his last fight in Italy. So he's just eyeing one weight class after another. But when is he going to defend 185? What do you think should happen next with this division?
There is power in surrendering the uncontrollables, and that's what I have done. And interestingly enough, you begin attracting what you want when you stop pushing for it. Think about it. It's called the law of attraction. It's not called the law of hunting, right? To attract is to be magnetic. So if you're constantly pushing, you push it away. Attraction is a pull, attraction is a pull. And Juggernaut has told me basically, if you continue to disrespect me, you're never going to get to fight me. And I just was on a call with him the other day, and we're doing a FaceTime, and he's showing me the garage he built, the house he built, the trucks he built, the trucks he's building. And he's a very interesting individual outside of fighting. And we are fighters, of course. So there's the fighting aspect and there's the civilian life aspect. I don't want to say the normal life aspect, but the life outside of a fighter. Oh, he's very interesting. Skills that he has outside of fighting, like building a garage, building a home, like it takes a good amount of focus, takes a good amount of organization, takes a good amount of consistency, and most importantly, desire to even do that. And I'm better at destroying than I am at constructing when it comes to physical. I'm better at destroying what is physical than I am at building what is physical. So it's interesting to see that balance in him. And anyway, he said that, Mohawk, I don't know if I should say this, but basically the Sakara fight's not going to happen. Perry's fighting a jiu-jitsu guy in MMA. Darren Till's fighting El Romero if he doesn't, get arrested or kicked out of BKFC for what he just did, knocking out another BKFC fighter. And I
Oh,
think
is that a BKFC fighter? I saw that video.
he's a bare knuckle fighter, and I think he's a BKFC fighter. But the point about it is that you know it could go against him, it could work for him. I mean, it's a viral knockout video, and so it's gonna go viral. It's gonna continue to go viral. It's gonna give BKFC more attention. But at the end of the day, I mean, what are you gonna say? Bare knuckle fighter gets in a bare knuckle fight outside of the ring in England or whatever it was, or Dubai. It's like, duh. He didn't fucking rob anybody. He didn't fucking go into the fucking a dog shelter and let all the dogs loose to fucking get ran over by a car. You know what I mean? He punched a guy, which is what he does. And the other guy was a fighter. He wasn't like an innocent bystander. The guy was disrespecting him. At first glance, you're like, oh, that's not good for the BKFC. Probably is. It's probably good publicity, especially now that he has got a fight signed with the OL. But who knows if he comes out and says, oh, my hand's broken, and then turns away from the OL, But if they do that, I'll fight Yoel. Put me in there. I'll fight and beat him. I love Yoel. Anyway, back to Lorenzo, is that Lorenzo said that if anybody's on his radar, it's actually me, and he's going to this fight. He's going to be there
Yeah. So
in
you
my corner, I believe. I think in my locker room.
interesting. What were you saying about the Mohawk?
I wasn't sure if I could divulge that information, so my mouth is sealed on that.
10-4. Sorry, I was trying to pry it out of there.
That came from Juggernaut. It didn't come through a news outlet. It didn't come through anybody else, and yeah.
So yeah, that's interesting because I didn't believe Sakara was going to fight again, to be honest with you. I thought he was pretty much out of there, but then he was in the ring after Juggernaut's last fight. So that's what kind of made me think, okay, maybe I was wrong about that. But I was already kind of under the assumption that he was not going to fight BKFC anymore.
I mean, why would they not put him in the ring with he's fighting again or not? They're going to put him in the ring because it raises publicity. He is an ex-UFC fighter. He beat Camozzi to a close decision in Italy. They're in Italy, right? So why would they not do that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it makes sense. It definitely makes sense. So, with the fast turnaround, do you think ideally would you like to fight one more time before the year's end after this one, if you stay healthy
Fuck
and
yeah.
everything goes well?
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. What the fuck else do I have to do? I don't fucking enjoy anything else in this life besides my kid. I love my son. I love fighting and winning. I love having fun. Like when you live in Orange County, California, you live in the #1 county in the entire world. You need to realize that we have the best weather. We're between LA and San Diego. So if you think LA is better, if you think San Diego is better, you're in the middle of those two counties, right? And then, our cities are newer than Los Angeles cities and San Diego cities, and our cities are very attractive. So they attract attractive people. They attract people from all over the world. They attract opportunity. They attract fun. And, I've been out here for a long time. I've been in Southern California for 12 years. Southern California is the most sought after place in the world. People can say, like Darren Till said, oh, like maybe you'll make it to Dubai. I'm like, why the fuck would I want to go live in the desert? Because they have giant, tall buildings. Those are called smart cities, brother. Do you not know what that is? Like, I never got the Las Vegas thing. Las Vegas is absolutely retarded. That is a fucking human experiment. How can we attract a bunch of people from all over the world to go into a fucking shitty desert and just give away everything they fucking earned the whole year in terms of money? How can we get them to waste their time, their energy, and their fucking efforts in a place called Sin City? Well, we tempt them with sin. It's how does not anybody else see that's fucking retarded, right?
Yeah.
Like the reason why Southern California is attractive is the weather. How you feel. To feel makes it real. So you're guaranteed to feel good, at least from the weather, guaranteed to feel good, at least from the Southern California weather, right? And then you have all the opportunity. Like, it's expensive out here. Yeah, but you can make way more money, right? And then even if you could save more money somewhere else, you could save money living in a shit fucking place like Pennsylvania, where I'm from. But why the fuck would you want to do that when you only have fucking sunlight 3 fucking months out of the fucking year? And you fucking clinically fucking depressed because of that. It's like, yeah, great. I have fucking extra $50,000 a year. Wahoo. Yeah, you can travel with it. But when you live in Southern California, you're on vacation every fucking day. And that's my point is I'm on vacation every fucking day. But as a fighter, as a winner, all I want to do is fight and win. It's always on my mind. It's always on my fucking mind. So when you're tormented the way that I'm fucking tormented with fighting, is it really torment if you love it? And it's no, I'm blessed. I'm blessed with this mindset. People say there's a gift and a curse. There's a yin and a yang. There's a good and a bad to all. You know what? I believe that's true here on earth because earth is a combination of heaven and hell. And when you die, you get split. You either go to heaven, you either go to hell. You either go to the good place, you either go to the bad place. You either go, eternal salvation, eternal peace, or you go to a place where you don't have peace, right? Here on earth, we have a prelude to heaven and hell. And so the hell of this is that I'm tormented to do it. The heaven of this is that I'm willing, able, and ready to do it. And I love doing it. So there you have it. That is the mind, the mentality of the Knucklemaniac.
It's a deep one. What are we going to be looking like? You got anything up your sleeve for this walkout? You threw me for a loop last time, brother. I seen you the day before And then right before your fight, you come out with the shaved head, channeling that stone cold energy. But I was surprised. I was like, wow, he must have just shaved that head. Did you do it like literally right before the fight?
I think I did it that night, the night prior, that morning. Yeah.
Yeah, so because I was kind of surprised when I saw you in there with no hair. But is that going to be the look going forward?
We'll see. I don't like to plan anything. The second I plan something and the plan fails, I become extremely fucking frustrated. And I know how to use frustration and anger to my benefit. People with ADHD, we have low baseline dopamine. And so that means we have a lack of focus, motivation, and interest. So on average, the person with ADHD has a lack of focus, motivation, interest because they have a lack of dopamine. But when we become angry, it rapidly secretes dopamine, rapidly produces dopamine and releases it. So I literally get high on anger, high on aggression, high on frustration. So maybe subconsciously, my nervous system loves when plans fail, because anger's like rocket fuel to me. And I'm spontaneous, I'm impulsive. And so my thoughts come to me, my ideas come to me. And when they come to me, I like to act on them immediately. And so just tune in on August 21st. There's probably many surprises, but I mean, you're going to see the most entertaining, the most educational, most educated, and most empowering fighter on the BKFC roster in the bare knuckle world and in combat sports in general. If you ask me, KFC's rising, like I said. But how do you think? How do you think the Knuckle Maniac would fare? Don't even think about fighting, right? Let's just forget fighting. Let's forget the fighting process. How do you think I would fare? How do you think the Knuckle Maniac would fare in the fucking UFC and the cameras and the marketing that UFC has? How do you think the Knuckle Maniac would fare in that?
As well as Josh Hockett?
Better. Do way better than Josh Hockett. Why? Because I don't need to fucking say stupid shit to get
Yeah,
noticed.
yeah.
Hockett's a great fighter, dude. He's a fucking great fighter. And I think a lot of what he says is hilarious. Like, Michelle Obama thing, I'm not offended by it or anything like that. It's just that it's all the people you could attack now. Michelle Obama's like 12 years ago, bro. Like, you didn't say nothing about fucking current politicians that are in effect right now. You didn't say anything about the obvious, and without being political, because, Fox News, BKFC, all these great opportunities coming up. I just think that you put somebody like me in front of a ton of cameras that are around the world, whether it's UFC or BKFC, right time, right place, in front of the right crowd. I am the show. I am the show. I don't watch movies. I don't watch TV. I used to as a kid, right? I don't follow any trends. I fucking hate being programmed against my will. I fucking hate it. As a hypnotherapist, I program people with intention for their betterment. I fucking hate watching TV. I fucking hate listening to music that's not fucking music that I intentionally want to listen to. I walk into a gym and they're playing some fucking shit fucking music that's gonna fucking program my mind, my fucking mind. They're raping your ears, bro. They're raping your fucking mind with the fucking stupid shit that they put in your fucking head. It's like, yo, here's a fucking McDonald's hamburger, right? That shit's not even hamburger. Who knows if it's a fucking child? Seriously, who knows, right? And you're being force-fed shit your whole life, whether it's physical or it's fucking mental or spiritual. You're being force-fed shit your entire life. And I think everybody should be aware by now to fucking spit it out when it's put in your fucking mouth. Spit it out when it's put in your ears. Spit it out when it's put in your fucking eyes. Spit it out when it's forced in your fucking brain, right? And so when you're thinking about when you're thinking about who I am and why I am the show, it's because I show people how this show operates. This fucking show, right? Is the world circular, spherical? Is it flat? It's like so many fucking questions to ask. But how many people are asking, who am I? Everyone wants to point fucking fingers outside of themselves. Oh, why did this person do that? Why did this person do that to me? It's like, the fuck is the last time you looked yourself in the mirror without fixing your makeup or trimming your nose hairs? When's the last time you looked yourself in the fucking eyes in the mirror? When's the last time you closed your eyes and saw who you were as a child and communicated with your inner child who you really are when you came into this world, before the world corrupted you, before the world told you who to be, what to be? When's the last time you communicated with your fucking self? When's the last time you corrected yourself? When's the last time you connected with yourself? Those are the real questions to ask. When's the last time you truly helped yourself? Those are the real questions to ask. Fuck the Knuckle Maniac. Fuck CODY VIDAL. Who am I? I'm a child of the Most High, the Yahweh. And everyone else needs to realize that before it's too late. So people are always asking me, what do you want to be remembered as? I want to be remembered as Christ Yeshua HaMashiach, not as that's who I am. That's who he is living through me, right? Notice how I stopped
Amen.
cursing when I said that, right? So being a human is difficult. Being a human who has a love for love, being a human who has a love for love, being a human who has a love for Christ, being a human who has a love for Yeshua, being a human who has a love for what is good is difficult because as a human, half heaven, you're half hell. And it's difficult, especially when you didn't sleep good.
I understand, man. I see where you're coming from. And that's why I asked you too, because you see the hypnosis, the life coach, obviously helping people get on the right balance. And I have heard that ADHD people who have ADHD, yeah, they act on their thoughts, and sometimes that could be a positive thing, right? Sometimes that's how things get done, and you're not procrastinating. How did you get into this? Like, to give this advice and to be the guy, like, is that something that you were always had in you, or is that something you went to school for? How, like, where did this all come into play?
Dave Feldman did an article over 2 years ago where he talked about he had failure after failure after failure. And when you're highly conscious of failure, it means you're highly conscious of success. And Dave Feldman has always been highly conscious of success. Dave Feldman, no matter how much you think you know about him or don't know about him, I don't know much about him, but I think I know more about him than the average person. He's always pushed for high success. Look at the BKFC, right? Like that was difficult to establish, and he's still doing it. And he's told me some, maybe not secrets, but details about himself that probably most people don't know. But if you read that article, his childhood, what happened to his mother, a lot of situations he's been in, clipping someone's Achilles tendon because they have
Mhm.
harmed his mother, situations he's been in where he was depressed because he felt like he was a failure and that it was not going to become any better. And he found himself standing on top of a bridge looking down. And the symbolic aspect about people jumping off bridges is that bridges literally bridge, they connect one fall to another. Fall meaning if there was no bridge and you walk off the ledge, you fall, right? So a bridge, think about the word fall and fail. They're the same. To fail is to fall is to fail. But a lot of people that commit suicide, they're standing on a bridge, which is connecting failure and failure, falling and falling, and they still jump anyway. That's a sign of hopelessness. But Dave had hope. Even a dying man has hope, and many people cry out to God right before it's too late, and maybe they are saved. I would like to believe that the God that loves us, the God that created us, is willing to save you even in your last breath, in your last statement. And so there was Feldman standing on top of the bridge, and he had hope, and he decided to live. That hope became belief. That belief of Dave Feldman's became that knowledge of Dave Feldman's became wisdom. That wisdom is knowledge applied. It became discipline. That discipline is applying that knowledge over and over and over again, and it became success. And here we are. He's succeeding. Now, at what cost? That's his own prerogative. That's his own statement to make. But I can relate to Dave Feldman because with my ADHD symptoms, with all my struggles in life, with the chronic anxiety that I had growing up, the PTSD, and the depression, I learned that depression is a gift. Because what's depression? Depression is the opposite of impression. Impression, impression, impressed. I am pressed. When a person is impressed by themselves, they are pressed for themselves. When a person is impressed by others, they are pressed by others. And when you're pressed, there's two reactions. You can fall back or you could push forward, right? You could turn on angles too. You could drop, change level, right? See, most people think limited. They're like, oh, there's only two options. You can go back, you can go forward. No, you can go forward on an angle. You can go forward lower. You could jump over your opponent, your obstacle. So depression in ways is impression because when a person becomes depressed that they're not succeeding, it means they're not impressed that they're failing. But remember what a bridge is. A bridge is connecting failure to failure. It's connecting falling to falling. And so many people jump off of bridges and end their lives. But many more people use bridges to truly live. Many people use bridges. Many more people use bridges to connect their thoughts, their feelings, and their actions to their destination. And that's why I'm here. So I'm here because I didn't quit. I tried quitting, but I couldn't quit trying. But I stopped using the word try unless I'm using it as an example. There is no try, it's do or die. And by choosing to cross that bridge, I do it. I live, I thrive, I win. And win is what's important now. And now spelled backwards is one past tense of winning. We win before we begin.
Spoken like a true professional, Cody. That's what like where does this insightfulness come from? Like where did is this a gift from God? Like who made you like this to have so much knowledge and to be able to help people come from some, PTSD, depression yourself, overcome this and then be able to have such insightful, you know what I mean? Like where is this coming from, brother? Like how did this come about? Where did you learn this? Like is this just who you are? Like
All comes from our
because it's
creator.
it's not common, right? It's not common to see, like, such insight and such deep thinking.
Well, the word common says come on, and God says come as you are, right? And I think when you recognize who God is, you recognize who you are because you're made in God's image and his likeness, right? And so, Christ was and is many attributes, many specialties. And a philosopher, a lover of wisdom is definitely one. So I think all the great philosophers that live long enough come to realize that Christ is real and that he is the greatest of all. And everything is from our creator. So yeah, it all comes from our creator. And again, I think when you recognize who we are supposed to be, we are supposed to live by wisdom. And when you don't live by wisdom, when you don't live by love, you will feel the hate of a fool. And a fool is someone that doesn't know what gratitude is. A fool is not grateful. A fool is hateful. You can only be one at a time. You can't be hateful and grateful at the same time. I guess there's an answer right there is that I have been full of hate my whole life. And it taught me that I didn't like it, that there was no happy ending with that. The only chance at a happy ending is to be grateful, is full of gratitude. Dave, I'm glad you didn't jump off the bridge, brother, and I'm happy I didn't either.
Yeah, me too, man. And I'm grateful that you joined me today, and I hope you nothing but health, wealth, and happiness above all. Because yeah, it's tough out here. I can only imagine the pressures of life that have thrown at you, and having to be a professional fighter. It's crazy, but to be able to keep the insightfulness and transfer the wisdom on, it's really inspirational, and I take away a lot just speaking with you. So thank you, Cody. Thank you for joining me, brother. Thank you for showing me other sides beyond the knuckle maniac, brother. The real life side that we all have to overcome and deal with. And like I said, I wish you nothing but the best health, wealth, and happiness, bro. I don't want to take up too much of your time. You got any plans for Moy Tyler's birthday? You doing something special for him? I know we got to sing him happy birthday. That was really nice. Are you gonna are you gonna be doing a live happy birthday for him?
Possibly. He's a big giver. He's not much of a taker. And so doesn't really allow you to as I said, I asked him if he ever went parasailing before, and he said no. I messaged him and was like, "Well, I want to take you parasailing if you're free this weekend or whatever." He hasn't responded to that, so I just leave it alone. So Tyler, if I don't ask you again, you know why. Yeah, man, like you're not taking up my time. I love doing this. I just, sometimes I get good sleep, sometimes I don't. It's my fault. I drank fucking two green Thai teas last night, and those I don't drink caffeine, but on purpose, and I always forget those so good, but they have fucking caffeine and sugar in them. So then there I am till like 3, 4 in the morning scrolling,
Yeah.
and
I've been there, man. I woke up today too. My back was fucked. And I was like, man, how am I going to even sit to do this interview? But I woke up early enough. I went, hit the sauna, cold plunge, back and forth. Give me a little bit of relief. But this morning, I was like, man, I can't even tie my fucking shoes. How am I going to sit during this interview? But I do appreciate your time, brother. And I can't wait to see what happens with this fight. It's must watch TV when the Knuckle Maniacs, like, you have
must
constantly improved fight after fight. It's always exciting. I can't wait to see how this one plays out. What do you think about the rest of the card? It's a fight night, but I just feel like Mohegan Sun always has dynamite matchups. What do you think about the Bryce Henry Trinidad Snake fight? Have you looked at that one at all?
I've seen both fighters fight. Both are very good at what they do. I believe that my fighting style is the best. Sounds egotistical me saying that, but like both fighters seem to be long guys, and I'd just be more interested to see longer fighters learning how to fight on the inside with shorter with less space, because then you'd be more complete fighter. I'm not saying Bryce Henry's not a complete fighter. I'm not saying that Trinidad Snake's not a complete fighter. What I am saying is that it's difficult for taller, longer fighters to fight in short space. And this is a fight night, so it's going to be a smaller ring too, right? So I talk about the word impressed. Everybody's going to be pressed to put on higher rates of action. You know, I haven't really looked at the rest of the fight card. I was originally supposed to be the main event. Career and I were originally supposed to be the main event, but then they added Bryce Henry and Trinidad. And they're really pushing Henry good, and Henry's with management of Lorenzo Hunt. So and Bryce Henry, like I said, he's really good. Like, I'm not talking bad about him at all. Trinidad Snake, really good. Not talking about him bad about them at all. I've yet to headline, and it's coming. Yeah, man. Like this goes back to marketing. If I'm marketing correctly, or I should say, when I'm marketed correctly, there won't be a problem with followers. There won't be a problem with ticket sales. AFC gives us a platform to market ourselves, and they're getting better and better and better, especially Fox. So putting me in the world's baddest man tournament, I'm winning that. And not just winning that, but I'm entertaining everybody, educating them, and empowering them. Because the world needs someone like me, and I need the world in a way, because it puts me to use, right? Like, you have to think, like, why does a person self-destruct? A person self-destructs when they're not using their purpose. And a person that is using their purpose is applying their passion, because that's what purpose is. Purpose is a passion applied, right? And passion means to suffer. You're either going to suffer for what you want or what you don't want. I choose to suffer for what I do want. I choose to apply that and create my purpose from that. And with purpose, I create power. And with power, I create prosperity. And with prosperity, I create peace of mind. So I have the passion. I have more passion than probably anybody on the roster. A close second or tie would be Mr. Lorenzo Juggernaut Hunt. I have great purpose. I have great power, not just physical punching power. I have great power. My presence is strong. I live in this brain. Nobody else does. So people are like, oh, he's crazy. He's overwhelming. How the fuck do you think I feel? Right? None of us control our unconscious mind. It operates itself. So if my operating system, my unconscious mind, is operating at a higher level than most people, it's overthinking, it's overfeeling. It wants to do this and that, and this and that, right? And it's always going, no matter if it's 3 hours of fucking sleep or 30 hours of sleep. How do you think I feel by being overwhelmed and, quite frankly, annoyed by myself? It's a full-time job being me, right? And so again, everybody that's watching this, if you're concerned about any statements I've made, oh, does he have CTE? I get my brain checked. I have the fastest concussion test records. Every single time we do the concussion tests, I always pass. I hold the records, and I set the records, and I break the records every single fight that I'm tested for concussions. So there's no CTE there, not even a fucking blip, not even a sign of it. And if anybody's asking, like, if I'm depressed, no, I'm good. I'm just tired, you know? When you're tired, you get more emotional, right? And I decided to open up today and not be the Knucklemaniac character and be me. And, you know, maybe now you see why the Knucklemaniac is so excited and joyful, is because behind the Knucklemaniac, you have sometimes the opposite of who the Knucklemaniac is, you know? But opposites attract, and you can't have one without the other, man. So I always say to people, for me, my weaknesses have become my strengths. My bad has become my good, right? My negative has become my positive. Because how hungry can you be for what you want or what you need until you experience the hunger? You don't know. That's why fasting is so important. Not just fasting from food, but fasting from stimulation of any kind, isolation, right? So yeah, going back to the fighters, because I know you asked a question, and it's funny. I can loop back, combat loop, throwing hands, knuckles to knives, and all these
Oh,
other podcasts, right? Is I loop back, and looping back to all the other fighters is like, you don't know peace until you've had suffering. You don't know peace until you've known suffering. And we fighters, we know what suffering is, and we know what peace is. And I feel like most fighters don't know what long-term peace is, which is why we continue to fight, because we get peace in increments. So
definitely.
the life of a warrior is not the life of a peacemaker. Yeah, we could use war to make peace, but for how long? Megadeth. Peace sells, but who's buying, right? The life of a warrior is not meant to be lived long, right? Life of a warrior is death before dishonor. And if you live long enough, most people, if they live long enough, they'll dishonor themselves 1,000 times. For me, as a child, and even as an adult, I still envision myself dying in battle, dying with honor, dying with glory. Because you don't die, your body does. You never die. And so when people think about death, or when people hear someone talk about death, whether it's homicide, suicide, or natural causes, most people are afraid of that because most people are afraid that they're not eternal. I am. We are. We're all eternal. We all have our own purpose, our own meaning in life. You know, life is to, as DMX said, to live is to suffer, to survive is to find meaning in the pain, right? And so you create your own meaning. Like he said, find. You can find the meaning or you can create it. But remember, everything that we do, everything that we create, everything that we attract begins in the mind as a thought. So you are creating it, you are attracting it. And so whether you're finding it or creating the meaning, it's yours. It's yours. And so I did want to say a statement, but I forgot what it was. And you asked the next question.
Struggling does lead to salvation, my brother. I feel like you have to go through tough times to appreciate the good ones. So you're making a lot of sense there. I also like the fact that you brought up some DMX. I know you did the metal thing for a bit. You said you don't like to hear shit music. You don't want to be programmed when you go to a gym. What music have you been listening to for this camp? Have you had anything that's gotten you fired up? Any DMX? Anything that adds to your insightfulness, inspiration?
I'm a music lover. I'm a musician myself, vocalist. I can play rhythm guitar. I can play some piano. I can tap and drum. But you give me a whole drum set, that's difficult. I could create songs in my head right now. I could hear every single instrument. I can hear the lyrics as I'm making it in my head, and I can change it at any time. And I've always been like that. But to play it on instruments and to surpass those mental blocks that are stopping you from becoming the best instrument player, that's more difficult. But there's like there's whole symphonies and orchestras and just whole concerts in my head. I don't really listen to much music anymore. I like to listen to frequencies. I like to listen to music that calms me. I like to listen to sound that is healing. And so, I grew up as a heavy metal guy because it was energetic, it was aggressive, it was powerful, and it fed a lot of my hate. And I used to think that hate was good. I used to think that hate was better than love. I really did. And without realizing it, I was being a Satanist. I was like literally worshiping Satan without realizing it. So the heavy metal culture, when I grew up listening to heavy metal, people would always say, "Oh, it's devil music." No, it's not. All fucking music is devil music. All mainstream music is devil music.
Mhm.
It's been intentionally modified, intentionally manipulated to have broken frequencies that actually cause destruction at a cellular level, at a molecular atomic level. But there's frequencies like 423 hertz or 528 hertz, for example, that actually heal you at a molecular atomic level, cellular level. And it's proven because all physical matter is frozen energy, and all energy has vibration, and all vibration has sound. All sound has frequency. So when you discover these like Nikola Tesla concepts, I randomly open up to this, then you discover the truth. I am now telling a different story, a story of how miracles have found me, a success story filled with so much inspiration and love. I'm giving so much hope to so many people as they see how much I have overcome and I still come out on top. My life is a movie and I am the main character. I've never even read this. My brain is only a receiver in the universe. There is a core from which we obtain knowledge, strength, and inspiration. I have not penetrated into the secrets of this core, but I know it exists. Nikola Tesla.
So, do you believe? Yeah, I've heard of stuff about frequencies before, even clothing, right? They say polyester is a bad frequency and linen is supposed to be the healing frequency. Do you think, back to the music, maybe do you think that you ever put together a walkout song for yourself, a maybe you got the healing frequency in the background and something knuckle maniac related for your own walkout music?
Yeah, I listen to that. I listen to my own hypnosis that I made for myself right before every fight, right before I walk out. Yeah. And then the music I come out to is more so for the crowd.
So maybe we hear some vital hypnosis over the mic prior to your walkout, something to show people how
Well, you
something
did. The
inspiring.
last song I came out to was hypnotizing. It was What are you gonna do, brother? What are you gonna do, brother? What are you gonna do, brother? What
Okay.
are you
Then
gonna do, brother? What, what, what? Imagine being in Jomi's head, watching me walk out with a bald head. He's the last time he saw me, I had hair, walking out to a bald head, and I'm not joking around. And you hear my voice joking around, and you're like, I'm getting I'm getting the clown version on the sound and the king version, but the clown version is the one hypnotizing you. The king's just there to remove the dead body after it's hypnotized.
yeah, you know what? It was a scary thing to witness when you came out with the bald head. It was like, fuck, it looked like you mean business, and you definitely did. That wasn't much. Jomi didn't really have a whole lot for you. Did you expect that to go that smoothly for you?
Yeah, I actually hypnotized myself that morning, laying in bed. I sat down and I started talking to my subconscious mind, and I went through a process of if I know I have already won, but if old me were to lose, how would he? And it was like, well, old me wouldn't really lose. Old me wouldn't get knocked out. Old me wouldn't get tapped out. New me wouldn't either. But basically, it came down to like I could only beat myself. And then I was like, okay, well, have we been winning? Yes. Every fight? Yes. Getting better every fight? Yes. Winning easier every fight? Yes. Having more fun with every fight? Yes. Enjoying myself with every fight? Yes. So what evidence is there that old me or failure for that matter exists? None. No evidence other than an afterthought, other than a memory, which I've made peace with all those memories, friends with all those memories, right? So after doing that, after having that conversation with myself, I started doing breathing methods and I started to fall asleep. And as I'm falling asleep, you enter theta brainwave. As you fall asleep, you enter theta brainwave, which is the meditative state, which is also the hypnotic state. And hypnosis means to be asleep, unaware, or in a trance. There I was in a trance, and meditation means to become familiar with. And in that moment, I saw Jomi's legs wobbling and the referee doing this. And I was satisfied with that vision because I like Jomi and I didn't want to knock him out unconscious because that would have been embarrassing. At least now Jomi can live the rest of his life saying, I could have continued fighting. And he could have. But if he was knocked unconscious, he would never have that thought of coulda, woulda, shoulda, right? And sometimes that's the thought that we have that gives us hope, belief, knowledge, wisdom, discipline, and success, right? So he visualized exactly what happened against Jomi, and then we actually trained those exact methods of victory. That's what you saw. And it happened as quickly as it happened. And then the pin, I've been doing that since I was a kid. 1, 2, 3. I've always wanted to do that. So I always wanted to walk out to Stone Cold Steve Austin's music. I always wanted to act like him, look like him, fight like him. And I always wanted to pin somebody like him. And so I lived a dream that day. First
Yeah, it does.
person to knock
Let's
someone
go.
out and get a 3 count in any sport. Intentionally knock them out with punch. Yeah.
I was gonna ask you about that. Obviously, the pin was a big deal. It drew a lot of attention. Are you satisfied with that being a one-time thing, or if you see the opportunity, are you are you gonna be looking for that pin in the future?
Jomi's a pro wrestling fan. I'm a pro wrestling fan, and Josh and Joseph Creer is a pro wrestling fan too. Joseph Creer loves the NWL, KWL, right? So Joseph Creer is a great guy too, and I think that was just spur of the moment. Do it again, like just one and done is fine, you know. But I could do something similar to even top it, And so yeah, it was not out of disrespect. I mean, he kept pulling on my head. He kept pulling down on my head with a collar ties and whatnot. And quite frankly, I hit my head off those ropes a couple times. I didn't realize it, but if you watch replays, I'm like, he's pulling me down and my head's hitting the ropes. And the ropes are aluminum, they're metal. They don't feel good. I've cracked ribs off of those things. And my neck was fucked up after that fight. Fucked up after that fight. But I didn't feel it in the ring at the time. And I believe when I pinned him, it was like, okay, the impulse, the opportunity's here. We've been wrestling. Like he's been wrestling with me. So it just makes sense to do the pin. But then number two, it was my way of saying, ref, he's on wobbly legs. This is exactly what I've intended for. This is exactly how I visualize winning. So in my mind, I had already won. So ref, stop this madness.
Yeah,
So that's what the
interesting
pin,
fight.
that's what the pin symbolized. You should stop the fight, ref.
100%. And you know what? I think when you dropped him earlier in that fight, I think the way he went down, some referees might have called it a day just off of that alone. And the pin came after that, so I have to agree with you. Because the first time he dropped him, I saw it from behind, and I thought he was done. I was like, "Oh, that's it. It's over." So even when he got up, I was kind of surprised the ref let it go. I think that would be ref to ref. Some would, some wouldn't.
Well, the ref knows that Jomi's a warrior, and he knows that Jomi's a former 185-pound champion, the first 185-pound champion in bare knuckle American history. So that was his reasoning for letting the fight
Yeah.
continue.
Also, co-main event, right? You guys deserve to be there. I don't disagree. I don't think like okay, it had to be stopped, but I think it could have. Like some refs would have. He would have been extra pissed, but so it's a good thing that they didn't. The fight got to carry on, but
There would have never
it
been
was
a
a quick
three pin.
one.
There would have never been a 3 count, man. There would have never been a pinfall.
I don't know if there ever will be again unless you hit it, unless you make it a thing, Cody.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
Anyway, so what do you got? What do you got for you got a message for Joseph or maybe the fans that are going to be at the Mohegan Sun? What are we going to see? What are we going to see August 21st?
You're gonna see the Knuckle Maniac, your favorite fighter's favorite fighter, do what your favorite fighter's favorite fighter does. Win, win.
Let's go. I'll be pumped for it. Let's go. Let's win. Let's win. I'm excited. It sucks there's no fights this weekend. I'm a little depressed about that. That's how it goes. I'll have to
Is there
rewatch
not
something.
UFC fights this weekend?
There is, but it doesn't really it's not the same, bro. And
Yeah.
UFC's like I love UFC. UFC's great. It's done a lot like especially during the COVID. Like obviously BKFC had some COVID fights too, but not as many as UFC. Kind of got me through that awkward COVID time. So I always appreciate Dana for that. But yeah, we got Makachev. It's a Makachev fight, right?
Yeah.
Ian Gary. What do you think? What do you think about that before I let you go? What do you think about Ian Gary and some of the comments he's made?
I mean, who cares? I mean, gossip is gossip. Who cares? I don't care to
It
talk.
is.
I don't care to talk bad about anybody. You know, I don't care. He is who he is. Makhachev's who he is. I like Makhachev a lot. Makhachev's birthday is September 28th in Russia. That's the same day as Fedor Emelianenko's birthday. My birthday is September 27th. The 27th in America. 27th in America is actually the 28th in Russia. So I share birthdays with Fedor Emelianenko, the greatest of all time, the greatest heavyweight of all time. And I share birthdays with Makhachev, the greatest in his weight class of all time, in those middle classes. And I am in progress of becoming the greatest bare knuckle fighter of all time. So it makes sense that we all share the same birthdays.
Something special going on September 28th. I think Makachev takes it this weekend as well. I think he beats Ian Gary.
I think it's going to be rather easy too.
I do too, just because of how good Makachev is, right? It's no disrespect to Ian. He's earned his right to be there, but I just don't know if I got to pay to see it, right? I don't see him Makachev losing. Anyway, brother, I won't keep you any longer. I appreciate you. I know I was kind of early. I'm sorry. I hope I didn't get on your bad side. Should have put
Not at all,
But I
man.
do appreciate the experience talking with you. It's always a pleasurable one. I take a lot of inspiration from these talks, Cody. And I can't wait to see you back in there 7 days away, Mohegan Sun, BKFC. Let's go. You'll be excited. Day of you'll be excited, brother.
Yeah, I saved my energy, believe it or not.
Yes, sir. Anyway, man, have a blessed day. Get some rest. Health, wealth, and happiness to you, buddy.
God bless you, brother. I love you, man.
Love you as well, bro. Amen. Thanks for everything and stay blessed, buddy.